Lesson 61. Time. Connecting words and expressions. Hello and welcome to this lesson. Today, we are going to talk about time, specifically, the connecting words and expressions we use to link events in time. We will look at how to express one thing before another, things happening at the same time, one thing after another, time when, and non-specific time expressions. This is very useful for telling stories, explaining sequences, and making your speech more fluent. So, let us get started. One thing before another. First, let us look at expressions used to indicate that one thing happened before another. I had written to her prior to meeting the committee. This is formal or written style. It was nice to be in Venice. Previously, I had only been to Rome. This is fairly formal. A more informal way would be before that, I was in the office from 2:30. I was out earlier on. This is fairly informal and means before then. The street is now called Treetop Avenue. Formerly it was Hedge Lane. This is fairly formal and typically used when something has changed its name, state, or condition. Dinner will be ready in about an hour. In the meantime or meanwhile, relax and have a drink. These expressions are used to fill the time between now and a future event. Things happening at the same time. Now let us look at expressions used to indicate that things happened at the same time. She was entering at the very time or at the very moment I was leaving. These two are stronger and more precise than as or just as. The two events happened simultaneously. They started and ended at exactly the same time. During the war, she lived in Dublin. This does not specify how long within that period. Throughout the war, they remained in the city. This means from the beginning to the end of the period. Here is a language tip. During does not specify how long within a period of time, whereas throughout means from the beginning to the end of a period. One thing after another. Now, let us look at expressions used to indicate that one thing happened after another. Read this personal statement from someone hoping to work for an international corporation in China. The words in bold are rather formal. Following my first visit to Beijing, which means after, I read several books about China and subsequently decided to take a 6-month course in Mandarin Chinese. Subsequently means at some time after that. I revisited China on several occasions thereafter, which means after finishing the course, and now feel that I have a good knowledge of the country and its culture. Note also the adjective immediate. For example, the government removed the price regulations, and the immediate result was a 10% price rise. This means it happened at once. Time when. Now, let us look at expressions that refer to a specific time when something happened. The moment or the minute I saw his face, I knew I had met him before. These are used for immediate timing. I stayed in that hospital the time I broke my leg. This is less formal. I met Paula at Mark's wedding. On that occasion, she was with a different man. This is more formal. Non-specific time expressions. Finally, let us look at expressions that refer to non-specific times in the future. We can discuss the budget now. At a later stage, we can discuss the detailed arrangements. This means at some unspecified time in the future. At some point, we will have to replace our computers, but we are okay for the moment. Again, this means at an unspecified time in the future. So, that is our lesson on time, connecting words and expressions. These linking words will help you describe sequences of events, express timing, and make your narratives more coherent and fluent.